With the status of many things currently unknown when it comes to the Disney Plus releases of Marvel Studios, many people are looking at future releases such as WandaVision, its impact on the MCU and close connection to Doctor Strange 2. And now there's rumors out there that it could be delayed, so let's talk about this. With obvious things happening around the world and Hollywood obviously reacting to it on a day-by-day basis, we can kind of expect things are gonna keep on shifting just due to how studios have to, produce content and how they're gonna see what needs to kind of be taken care of first, right? Now, one of the biggest scenarios going forward is the fact that things could be delayed, and honestly, there's been a lot of talk about that in regards to everything, not just Marvel Studios, Disney, and we still don't know. Hypothetically, if things aren't good in the next couple months by the end of summer, then there's going to be subsequent delays again. And this might just be how it goes. Now, when it comes to the likes of WandaVision, we've talked about it before, and they've talked about it specifically, saying that this series leads directly into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because, it's a carrying over story that deals with the multiverse. Now, again, as people have pointed out, and yes, I've seen it, and yes, I've seen articles that people have made on it subsequently, does this mean that the series gets delayed? And honestly, that's an interesting one, because if you look at it, you would assume yes, right? Because if it straight up leads into it. Or maybe they just don't delay it, and the films that are set in between the actual series coming out at the end of this year, as it's still scheduled, and Doctor Strange the end of the year after, maybe they just have more time to be able to refine how the two connect as a whole. Because again, you don't necessarily need that, right? The Black Widow movie is coming out, and Black Widow's already gone. She's a dead character, and her film is going to fill in this gap between Civil War and Infinity War. So again, I think people just get used to it. It's not necessary that it leads directly into it. It's like, oh, WandaVision's done. In 3 months, we got to go see Doctor Strange. Again, that's not really the case, and that's not really something that they have to do, although they'd probably like to, hence why the original release schedule. And if you look at it right now, we have WandaVision coming in the winter of this year, and Doctor Strange 2 coming out a year after. Now, the things that are in between these two, conjoined pieces of entertainment is the Eternals, so that has no effect on either of the characters. Loki, I'm assuming that has some effect on it, because obviously Loki's in the multiverse, and they said that's going to somewhat connect into it, hence why the shows were pretty close together. So again, that could have a little bit, but Loki had to stop production, so they can change that during production and, do a few things there when they kick back into it. Then you have Shang-Chi. Without doubt, that can't connect to it at all, because that's pointless. Then you have Marvel's What If. Obviously, yeah, that's in continuity, but again, it's a what if, and that's dealing with everything being a what if story. So again, I don't think there's much bearing on everything there. And then you have Doctor Strange 2 a year after. So again, that kind of makes sense, that you don't need them to directly lead into one another, but it probably would have worked better. But honestly, who really cares at this point, as long as they can get it? So is it going to be delayed to 2021, as people are suggesting? Maybe, depending on if they need to do extensive reshoots or what post-production calls for, and if it falls behind on it. I could see it maybe getting bumped into spring and then bumping Loki into summer, which again, then they're still closely connected, because you're going to give 8 months in between the two instead of 13. So that could work.